Thank you everyone so much for joining with us today. Just such a big experience just throughout the past year. It's been really like a roller coaster. And pancakes. So who likes pancakes? Yeah. I've actually made pancakes before with like red velvet as a batter. That was pretty fun. And who likes Times Square? I know, and like New Year's resolutions, anyone like them, kind of, maybe? Yeah, like, I'm not a big New Year's resolutions type of gal, and so, yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of New Year's resolutions, or Times Square. Pancakes, though, I love. So my name is Sam, and I'm one of the organizers that have been working with the Brooklyn Product Design Group in the past year, and as I said, I'm not really a big New Year's resolution type of girl, but I knew that last year I wanted to just spend some more time with my community and have a little bit more sense of purpose and giving back, but I didn't really know what type of avenue to take with it. I'm like, should I go to the homeless shelter that's like local near me and just go out and like volunteer at soup kitchens, and then this kind of opportunity just kind of fell on my lap. So one winter evening, I stumbled across a meetup, and I decided, since I live in Clinton Hill, it was just right along the line of when I was coming home from work. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go check this meetup out. I've never really like heard much of any type of Brooklyn design meetup, so I'm gonna go check it out and see what happens there. And so I stepped foot inside of Fuzz, and to be honest, when I came, I was also a little bit late, so I had no idea what was going on. I think there was actually a speaker in the back over there, playing a game in the front with like some type of brainstorming game. It was a little bit weird, but I kind of got the hang of it. I was like, oh, actually, this is pretty cool. Like a pretty cool idea to think about brainstorming in a new way, in a new fashion. So at that time, I think it was one of the earlier meetups, so there wasn't a lot of attendees. So it was a little bit quiet and a little bit awkward. But I decided to stick around for the mingling of it, and that's actually how I got to meet Leonard. I like to call you guys fuzzies, so Fuzzites, from the people who work at Fuzz. So he used to be one of the lead designers here. Recently they have a new hire, Sandra, so now we're going to kind of be working with her in addition to some of our other sponsors. So yeah, he was just I met him and he's just like, hey, thanks for coming, like how was the meetup? And Ka was another person who also attended, and he was like, oh, I thought it was awesome, I'd love to like help and see if I could like give a talk someday. And then I was like, well, to be honest, it was like a little bit weird. Like, I think there's some places where we could make improvements, like small little things, small details make a huge difference of like just making sure we have like music when we're coming along and socializing, so things like that. So I ended up kind of getting involved in that sense, but the thing is we kind of needed to get our ducks in a row first. So how are we going to do this? There's other groups out there such as BKUX. There's also the Brooklyn VR meetup. There's, what's this called? Code, Drink, and Talk. But that sounds like a lot of fun, actually. But none of them actually offers consistent design talks on a regular basis. So I wanted to see if there was any avenues here where we could explore that and make sure that we're always continuously getting together and meeting new faces and the such. What we really wanted to do was to offer a platform for designers within the Brooklyn community to be able to feel empowered to have a voice and to be able to teach, learn, and make connections that they otherwise wouldn't really have discovered themselves. So Leonard actually set up a meetup group for us with the support of Fuzz. And with some of the other designers that also work here, they got some help with some of the designers to establish like things like branding, promotion, identity. This right here is actually my favorite sign, because I remember the first time when I was late, I was like stomping up the stairs, which could be a little bit distracting. So whoever that comes up next, we could, annoy them with that. I'll just pull up that slide. And eventually we actually needed a way to easily chat with each other. Text is really hard to do, so we set up a Slack channel, and then eventually we had tested some things out. And then just a general audience, and then in March we rolled out with the official Slack channel, invited like everybody and their mothers and your sisters and your pets to just come in and join and get connected with each other, share events, seek advice. We have a jobs channel. And in order to make sure that people can actually find us and easily online on social media, we kind took over the hashtag BK product design and just kind of rolls with that. So tweets, Insta stories, tagging, all of that stuff. Pretty fun. And then we also got our email set up. So as we got more volunteers coming in, come back to me. So yeah, we got email set up, and as we're kind of working with more people and growing out the group, that's always necessary to just make sure we're in constant communication, we're like on the same page. Outreach templates, so speakers don't really fall from the sky, maybe sometimes, and sponsors. So a lot of times we have outreach templates that we also look at in order to see like how we could best translate that information without having to type it from scratch every time. So the other portion or perspective was also, we can't just be thinking about what our audience and attendees want, but what could we offer back to our speakers who are investing so much time and energy and just like heart and soul into practicing and prepping for these types of talks and giving it back to the community themselves. So we have a YouTube channel in which we have our video archives there, which also helps with potential speakers knowing what they want to what to expect if they were interested in signing up for a talk. Yeah, this is like kind of our Power Excel doc with a bunch of tabs, so a little bit behind the scenes type of look at it. We have like a bunch of tabs down at the bottom. A lot of times we don't just record the positive feedback, but also wishes and improvements, such as one of the things we learned from one of our last meetups was this space happens to only be stairs accessible, so for the people who can't use stairs, just keeping mindful of that. And just seeing how we could iterate and make that clear for the next time around, etc. So on hosting the actual meetups, the first 2 events experimented with very simple social gatherings, people doing portfolio reviews, happy hour and mingling. Eventually, we experimented more with a series of lightning talks. As you can see, it was like a little bit more intimate for these talks, and there were some empty chairs, but by now, this is basically the breadth and depth of our talks this year. And I think Marco was asking me a question about how many speakers we've had. So far 15, and I think 2 more that are not shown on here because we didn't have speaker cards available at the time. But things, I'm just gonna read it out really quick, like visual design, interaction design, industrial design, design thinking, research, mindfulness, infographic design, fabrication design, mentorship, community, mixed reality, VR, AR, tools, best practices, design ethics, I don't know how I'm going so fast, co-creation processes, career transitions, ecosystems, and infrastructures. We're so colorful and diverse in our own ways. And each of us has a voice. Brooklyn Product Design was the platform that could help deliver it, to teach out to others what you love to do, even if you're scared as shit standing up in a room full of people. And with that circle of trust, we were able to form a community. For a circle that was open to learning and playing and trusting. Our community was born. And eventually we actually ran out of chairs. And we ran out of food too. We love to eat. And so all in all, we met a lot of new faces, not just through speaker events, but also through social events that people like Emily helps with coordinating and partnering with other meetup groups such as BKUX. We tried to coordinate a picnic, but the learnings there was a little too chilly, so we moved it to Three's Brewing in the backyard patio. We've gone to Extra Fancy before, stuff like that, portfolio shows. So, it's time for me to test if everyone's been paying attention or listening or not. How many members does BK Product Design have now?
812. 533.
It's not 0, but nobody, everyone went home. We went from 0 in November 2017 on the same exact day, just so happened, to a whopping 841. Woo! And it's our birthday today, so. So, what is on our New Year's resolutions list for 2019? Some of the sneak peek ideas that we have, obviously New Year's resolutions, we try to like aim high, right? So things like museum visits, picnics in the park that we didn't get to do. Storm King Art Center, I still haven't been there before, would love to go with people. I think keynote karaoke would be terrifying, but really fun to watch people do it. So brave souls out there, come talk to me. And yeah, really a stretch goal is like hosting perhaps a design jam, UX-a-thon, if anyone is interested and we could get something going. And yeah, so there's lots still to be done, like so much work. So we really need a lot of like volunteers, organizers, speakers, sponsors, makers, thinkers, lovers, no haters allowed. So yeah, I think that's basically it. I really like thank you so much for like everyone for just coming here and for all our volunteers. Like big thanks to our sponsors. Yeah, I couldn't have really done it with just like one pair of hands, or in our case when we were starting off with 3 people, like 6 pairs, 3 pairs? I can't count. Yeah. So yeah, thank you.